So one of the important areas we always talk about is with the adrenaline or sympathetic response is how the brain gets activated. There's different mechanisms that can happen. One is with the baroreceptor that does go all the way up to the brain stem for activation. That leads to the brain needs to be notified that you are not right. That sort of sympathetic overdrive. So the brain needs to know that you're not good, you're not well. So again, if your body's not right, your brain needs at some level to be engaged and be activated. Um, and sort of that hypervigilance, that jitteriness, that alerting activation. So your brain stem is back here, size of your thumb. Your brain is basically the size of two fists, a fist with a hand over. It's not a large structure, but this explains why we always talk about an autonomic issue, especially POTS, that it's much more complicated than just controlling heart rate, that there is this whole neurologic system involved, and ultimately the brain is involved, that people can still have ongoing symptoms, even once their heart rate's controlled, or some of those typical cardiac associated symptoms of chest pain, racing heart rate are controlled. So your brain has to be notified if your body's not going well, if the blood's not flowing, for you to be alerted and not do well. So that gets activated to important areas like the locus coeruleus and the amygdala. And that sort of gets you that sort of hypervigilant, alerted, brain alert, can't think, can't focus as well, make it interfere with your sleep. Um, and that's what we call often the downstairs brain. The amygdala is behind the eyes here around the temple, locus coeruleus, and the brainstem. These are these alarm waking centers. And these centers are important because they are the alarm centers that something's not right. With that is it limits your ability to really be your most creative, most intellectual, most detailed analytical self. This probably contributes greatly to other aspects of the brain fog, or that sort of maybe not be able to be as on point, analytical, methodical, creative. So we'll notice a lot of people, once we just start getting them do better with their sympathetic adrenaline symptoms, sometimes as simple as just going on a low dose beta blocker. People say I can think again. We're getting people to sleep, they can do better. So that's an important aspect to at least talk about this sort of brain hijacking, as I call it, where that the sympathetic adrenaline state has the brain activated and people just can't think. It's important just to discuss this and really acknowledge it. An important part of the work that we do often is acknowledgement, education, and there's this care. This is going on. So medications help. Um, Exercise is a way of actually a controlled stress, that you're actually showing your body and your brain that you can be well and handle it. So moving forward in time, your body learns that it can do it again and handle it. And then a lot of work in mindfulness. So mindfulness seems very trendy and big buzzword. It's a great way of actually showing your brain and body, your hand holding your brain and body, that it can be okay. And you are sort of showing the circuits of your brain and body that it can be okay and not be in this adrenaline sympathetic state. So mindfulness, classically, people think of meditation, yoga, breathing work, and all those things are great, but anything that's often repetitive can be very helpful. So people can do knitting, sewing, cooking. Music has an aspect that's rhythmic. Any activity that you find that is for you, that can get your sore self into that zone, can be that place for yourself. Some people even find just looking at pictures of animals on their cell phone can do it. So really get your brain and really being very deliberate and purposeful. It might seem forced and artificial initially, but eventually it becomes much more real. This sort of plan maneuvering to get your brain, especially showing that it can be in an adrenaline sympathetic reduced state can really help people. And it's very, very important. Sometimes we'll do more concentrated work with health psychology as a tool, as a more organized maneuver to help some of that wiring of the brain responses. Again, this brain hijacking is something we've been doing a lot of work with in our shared medical appointments and our one-on-one appointments and with our team with nurses and advanced practitioners and our important health psychologists, because we know there's more to this than just simple controlling heart rate once things get unleashed and unveiled. So this is an educational video, and if you can find something in your day, even 1 minute to 5 minutes, where you can actually be, again, very deliberate and purposeful to show your brain and body, especially your brain, they can be an adrenaline, sympathetic, reduced state. Go for it. Thank you for listening to the video, and as I always say, we believe in you, and we're here for you, and trying to make as many educational tools as possible. Please subscribe, because there are more videos always to come on Wilson orthostatic exercise. Thank you.